Hi everyone, we are back after another amazing CityReach experience. Yes, the weather was not optimal at times, but the warmth and the generosity, the compassion of the community there, it continues to shine through regardless of the weather, and this was no different. There was about 90 or so people at CityReach this time, so reasonable size, and about 9 kids from our group. We had 6 new people who had never been on CityReach before, and we had 3 veterans with us, so it was wonderful to have them all with us. As a reminder, for those of you who may need a refresher, who have never heard before, Common Cathedral is a community, it's a support system, it's a ministry for people who are homeless in Boston. They do a lot of different things. One of the main things they do is CityReach, especially during the winter months. It is a hospitality outreach thing that they do once a month, where they put out a big hospitality center for the homeless. But it is more than that. It is a learning experience, very intentionally so, for those who have not been exposed to homelessness, in order to build bridges between those who are housed and those who are unhoused, specifically for youth. So it's an opportunity for building bridges across those socioeconomic boundaries, but also for the youth, for them to help them make connections between their faith, their life, their action, and the way that they live their lives going forward. The schedule is basically, it's chaotic getting in on Friday night, getting things organized, getting the cars, and getting everybody shuttled out of the room. They spend a little bit of time getting to know each other and the rest of the people, and getting to know a little bit about what CityReach is all about. And then we all break up into our groups and get a tour of the city from people who work for this on the staff. And the staff at CityReach is unique in that a lot of them are homeless or used to be homeless. And so that's another aspect of what CityReach does, is empowers people who have been in those shoes to be able to be a part of that. We sleep on a hard marble floor, under skylights all night, so we get a little bit of a taste of what it's like to sleep on the street. Even though we're not on the street, we're in the safety of the church. But in the next morning, we wake up to take all those donations that we had accumulated as a church and other communities had gotten together, split it all up, organized it around the sanctuary, and begin to get set up. And then when people are lining up outside, they get hot chocolate and they get a ticket, and then they come through and they get to select a certain amount of items from each of the stations. And then they can come downstairs and have more conversations and linger a little bit, especially when it's cold and rainy and maybe a little snowy. Then they can take that opportunity to get warm. A lot of the emphasis is on community building, and that's why they have the hospitality and the opportunities to meet downstairs. The youth are encouraged to spread their wings, not just to hand things out, but also to get to have some conversations. And those who had been there before were really helpful to the 6 that had not been there before, in helping them get to, encouraging them to help them along. And some of them took really well to it, and others took a little bit longer, and that's to be expected with this kind of stuff. But there was a lot of excitement among our youth that came to want to do this again, which is exciting. We're gonna hear a little bit from some of them. We did a little bit of a debrief during CityReach, which we video recorded. There's some popping sounds there in the beginning, so I apologize for that. We made a poster as a part of our debrief, and then presented on that poster. All the different communities did this. So hang in there with the audio. And then there's some background noise in the video, so I apologize for that. But that's a little bit about what it's like during CityReach, which in turn is a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be on the streets. It's an opportunity, it's noisy, there's a lot going on, there's often people talking over you, and it's hard to get somebody's undivided attention. So you'll be experiencing that along with us to some degree. And then there was a few videos that youth submitted on their own they wanted to share with you all some of the thoughts that they were feeling. And one of the videos got cut off a little bit, unfortunately, but I don't know what happened there. But I tried to provide as much of it as I could so that you all could get a taste of what they learned. So let's listen to some of what they had to say.
And just like the importance of having face-to-face conversations and learning about people's lives and how, like, although people come here just, one of the reasons people come here is to get food and clothing. Another reason that they come is to like make connections, make new relationships. And so we really learned a lot about the power of community in addressing some of these bigger problems like homelessness.
Something that we would like to remember is like you never know what someone's going through, or also like what people have gone through. So like to always be mindful of everyone. Also just to be grateful, because I feel like it's really easy to be, it's really easy to like complain about things. A lot of ways complaining is kind of a privilege. We don't realize the things that like we have that not everyone actually has.
In terms of challenges, sometimes we found it challenging when there was conflict between customers, or like there were certain things that they were talking about that we didn't agree with, but we learned that like a lot of the time it's just really important to listen to what people have to say, and it's not always our place to jump in. Some other challenges were, as other people have mentioned, like not having exactly what someone was looking for, or even having to say no when they wanted to take multiple items and we still weren't sure if we were going to have enough for everybody. And I think that connects to one of the larger things that we talked about, that was like, yes, we can come here and give people food and clothing, but like how much, like there are obviously bigger problems and like limitations to what we're doing here. And so just thinking about like how there's also so much more to do and to like really make a difference. And then in terms of things that surprised us, kind of going off what I just said, like although there's so much that we can do, like even the little things that we did today, just smiling at someone, talking to someone, making sure they found what they needed, like really was able to change their day. We also found it super fun, like when talking to people, to discover the talents and hobbies and passions that they have, and finding things that were common between us through that. It was also interesting and surprising how open people were to talk, and that connects to one of the other things that we want to remember about how brave people are sharing their stories, like even when things were really hard. It's really powerful for us to be able to take what they've learned in their lives with us.
Hello, my name is Henry Forsyth Jones, and I've been to CityReach one time, and what I really enjoyed about it was kind of getting to know people who've had different experiences than my own, and who kind of, you know, like live different lives than mine and get kind of like insights. And I loved sharing stories with them and listening about their stories, and that was really great. And just overall, like, what a great, like, caring and great community it is.
Another thing that's surprising is just how like generous and selfless, like not only like the staff here, but also some of the homeless people. Like I met a guy, and although people were allowed to take like 4 or 5 like items from our table, he only took 1 or 2, and we were like, hey, you can take more than this, and he said, oh, I don't really need it, I already have a few things. I think there are people who would need this more than I do, and that like I feel like that was really like kind.
So in terms of our next steps, we hope to come back to CityReach and continue to participate in common cathedral activities. We do outdoor church often, which is also a really powerful way to stay part of the community.
Hi, my name's Maddie. Hi, my name's Susan. And this is the 2nd or 3rd year we've been doing CityReach now. We've thoroughly enjoyed this experience. It's been very memorable for us. It's given us the opportunity to reconnect with the CityReach staff and meet many new people and hear about their stories about homelessness and how they ended up living on the
conceptual way, take what we've learned today, especially about being open-minded about everybody else's experiences with us throughout our lives and the different things that we encounter.
I'm gonna let Grace and Fiona, if you all want to add anything else to take it from here, but I just want to end at least my part by saying you heard a lot about the importance of hearing each other's stories and how powerful and how transformative that can be. The stories that we tell each other is like sharing little bits of our lives with each other. It's a gift and it's a responsibility and it's a privilege for us to be able to share our own stories, but also to take the time to listen and to hear them. And it's not a small thing. It actually can transform and lead to systemic changes when we take the time to be present with each other. It doesn't happen overnight. It's messy. Life is messy, but I think that's a big part of what our youth have experienced. It's a big part of the Lenten/Easter story, to encounter God in the midst of the messiness as well as in the joy. But when we have the opportunities to sit in that, to experience that, and then to walk life with each other forward, we find the compassion, and we find the drive, and we find the urgency and the need to be there for each other, to pick each other up. And that's a beautiful thing. That's how God works in the world. Turn it over to Grace, and I know Fiona's already shared virtually, but if there was anything she wanted to add, this would be a great time.
I think I pretty much said what I wanted to say. I don't have really anything else to add, but if Grace wants to say anything, you can go ahead.
I'll just be brief and say that I thought this was a great opportunity to work with such passionate, open, students, all for this good cause of having this sort of hospitality outreach. And it was really an honor to be a part of a process of, so yesterday I think everybody knew that it was really cold, really rainy, sleety, and just miserable outside. And none of us really wanted to go outside, but you can only imagine how difficult it would be for somebody who doesn't have a choice of being inside. They have to be outside because they don't have a home, or they can't be in the shelter all the time. And so it was great for us to be able to be at this sort of resting spot for these folks, and to offer this love and kindness to them, even for a short period of time, to show that they are worthy of being cared for and having these things. And that smile goes a long way, and just being able to help them find some coats and other provisions until they have to leave this nice warm place and go out and into their journey outside. So it was a great opportunity. I was glad to be able to do it.